people can't attend. Okay. Welcome everyone. My name is David Robertson. I'm the PDP coordinator. Delighted to be here, and a big virtual hello to everyone and our regional PDP girls. This is girls only. Boys we just had was quite an interactive, successful session. So we're hoping and expecting the same from you guys. I'm going to introduce our panel. First of all, our director, Paolo Bonomo, who's the brains and the drive behind the programme. A familiar face for certainly Region 2 and Region 3-4 is Justin Selander, who is our mainstay in the girls' state pool. He's been working with our state pool now for a number of years. And our very special guest, Lizzie Varnesh, who is a 05, who is in our current state pool and has had some really good experiences through not only PDP, but more importantly, her hard work. She's been in the regional programme, and she's going to offer you some good advice. So that's our panelist, or our main guest speaker. We'll get to Lizzie in a few minutes, but what I want to do is first of all pass it off to Paolo Bonomo. Quick reminder of the housekeeping. I'll say it one more time because people just joining us. Video cameras are off. You're on mute. Please use the Q&A for questions versus the chat. The chat's not for questions. We will take questions at the right moment. We'll give people perhaps a chance to speak. Obviously, we have almost 200 people on this call, so we have everyone speaking at the same time. All the materials we share, we'll make available in a follow-up email. And we are recording this so that if you have any technical difficulties or dinner's ready and you have to get away, hopefully not, we have this on demand as well. So that's the housekeeping. I'll pass it over now to Paolo Bonomo, our director.
Thanks, Davide. And I want to thank Justin to join the webinar as well, and Lizzie to dedicate her time. I'm pretty sure that Lizzie is pretty busy, school and with the soccer ball, which she will share later. So I want to thank all of you. And I want to thank also all of you girls attending. I hope all of you are safe, and all your families are safe and stay safe. So it's nice to be able to reconnect in some form. I'm pretty sure that all of you are familiar now with this way of a social interaction, the famous Zoom, because probably you use it in school and everything. So for us tonight, the objective of this webinar, besides reconnecting with you, is also hear from you what you're doing, and maybe you can share some of your story or your daily or weekly routine. Also, taking some example of Liz and see what she has accomplished so far. She's a very dedicated to the game, and Justin later on will go more in detail with that. But most important is also for us to reassure you a little bit of this time that is hard for everyone. It's hard for the adult, so I cannot imagine being at your age and have the life being disrupted by this ugly situation, or call it the COVID-19 virus, whatever. You know, we are a social animal, so the social life is missing. And there's not much that we can do, because we have to also stay safe and also keep safe the close one to us, which is your elderly, if you have grandparents or parents and so on. So this is the reality. But again, there is in a lot of adversity situation, there is also the silver lining, the positive side. Okay, so as we were talking before you were all coming on with Lizzie, and the webinar before we had with the boys, and we had Ethan, which is another ambassador of a PDP, as Liz is. And we were talking, and now with this situation, actually, you ended up having more time. If you manage your time properly, you have a lot of time to work with the ball, or do some of your physical or things that are related to the game. And if you do that, I assure you, then when you go back to the field, you will find the benefit. And later, the more we go into this webinar, the more you will see a lot of example video and so on. And on the other side is probably a lot of you are going to wonder, oh, what is going to happen to PDP? When are we going to return? Is he going to return? Oh, yes, at some point, we all going to go back to some normal life. I don't know if a normal is going to be exactly the same that was before, but definitely we will play the game again. We will go to the tournament. We will go to training and so on. What's the date? Nobody really knows, and nobody can tell you the exact date. But I can tell you one thing. Then we've been in a lockdown now for a month and a half, almost 2 months. And every day that goes by is a day closer to when we go back to the normal. Maybe the first phase is not going to be the normal that we want to have, but it will be a lot better than what is now. So every day we will get closer and we will get better. So that's how we need to look at this situation and handle it, and how to handle it. And as far as the PDP program, all of you will be, when we resume, is it going to be sometime this summer, maybe a little bit sooner, early summer, we don't know yet, but it will start exactly where it ended. So you will be invited, you will be coming out whenever is possible, and we will resume the training with you attending it. So that will be where we left in March, or for some of you, maybe it was February. We will resume exactly from that point on. So with that said, now I'm gonna let David and Justin take more a lead, and when is the right opportunity, I will step in and maybe give my 2 cents. But I will encourage all of you to make the best out of this. Maybe also ask question to Lizzie, what she's doing, learn from there, because obviously she's a very good role model. She's still in the program. She's really related to a lot of you. Maybe she's only a year or 2, or maybe 3 years older than you. So try to take advantage of that as well. Okay, thank you very much to everyone. You're mute.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Paolo. And great words as always. So we're just going to start off with showing you what we're waiting, what waits at the end of the rainbow, the light at the end of the tunnel. This is a short video. I won't play all of it. A review of our program last year. I'll turn the volume down and just kind of talk through as you see it. So as you can know, we've got many different things to look forward to. One is the play date. Some of you have participated in it. Some of you were excited to participate in our first one in December, and it got rained out, and then we rescheduled it. Fortunately, we had one in March. We also had one scheduled for June, which we can't do. This here's our state pool. So you can see the play date. We had all our PDP players watching our state pool. Lizzie, there, you're in this one over there. We have our boys. They've done a 2-day residential state camp. So from regional PDP, we move into state. You can see some familiar faces here. Coach Justin and Ern coached that was the 04 state team last year. Again, a few 05s that were doing well. Liz being one of them. And then again, some of you'll remember this. Unfortunately, we miss out on it this year, but it will be back. This is the play date, and Paolo always references this as his favourite day of the year, when it's all 6 regions just coming out and footballing and enjoying the game. This was the group that we took to Sweden in the Gothia Cup. We had a boys team and a girls team. Justin's been with the girls team 3 times. We won it the first year, final the next 2 years. So our girls teams have done very well. You recognise some familiar faces there. Most of these girls are going off to college this year. I think all of them are. But again, they were all regional players at one point, with the same hunger, desire, and motivation that you guys had. A shout out for Region 7. There's Region 3-4 with Coach Elena. I think this is Region 8 and Region 5. And then our inaugural game, or not, our traditional game with GFA, the Japanese. Liz, you played in this one. We'll get to that in a moment. We've been playing at the GFA Japanese Federation now for, I think, 5 years. We actually took a team, Liz, you were the captain there. We took a team over to Japan a couple of years ago. Justin and Paolo were part of that. And it's a great cultural experience overall. So these are the things to whet the appetite, not to kind of, make you feel anxious or jealous or envious. I think that's sometimes good as well, because we can see all of the good things that we've got to work hard and fight to get back to. So again, I mentioned Liz has been part of many of them. We'll go over them in just a second, but I'm going to ask Justin to say a little bit about Lizzie and some of the qualities when we were asked to think of a player who we think can represent PDP well. She was definitely one of the first names that jumped out, and many reasons why. So Justin, why don't you share a little bit about Miss Lizzie?
Well, I have to calm down my goosebumps because I got to see all those great photos, Robo. So thank you. And I just want to say welcome to everybody. Thank you, Paulo, for the nice words, Robo, for your words. I've had the honor and pleasure to introduce Miss Elizabeth Verdesh. I met Lizzie at the local Region 3-4 PDP about 4.5 years ago out of Dublin. And some of the things that stood out to me from Lizzie from the very beginning was personality, which is one of the biggest things we talk about in PDP. She was technical. She used both feet very well. I remember from one of the first days we asked her to play in a different position. She said, "No problem, coach. Where do you want me to play?" So very versatile, plays anywhere you want her to. We call that coachability. But her personality, her technical, her hardworking traits, they really shined. Got to coach her a couple of years at the regional level. Now she's in at the state level. So from Danville, California, representing Mustang and NorCal, we'd love to introduce Elizabeth Vernesh.
Hi. Yeah, I'm from Mustang. I'm on the 05 ECNL team. And yeah, I just like to say that PDP has helped me with a lot of things. They've opened a door for me in a lot of ways. I've gone to like many camps, ID2 camps, ECNL, like national camp. I went to Florida with a Western regional team with Robo here. And yeah, and it's just a good experience for me because I got to be exposed to all those good players. Like right now, you guys are just getting started, but as you go on, it'll get harder. But you'll keep getting better, and every time you go, you get pushed, which is really good. And yeah, I really took advantage of that. I don't know.
Yeah, well, let's go back and talk then a little bit about some of your experiences. Because you were actually invited to the first ID2 international trip to England, Scotland and England, and unfortunately it was cancelled. How did that come about? How did that invite, which is quite, I think you and I think there was 2 or 3 other NorCal girls, PDP players, that got invited to represent a national PDP. How did that come about? Where were you identified, and how did you feel when you found out you were going to represent essentially your country internationally in Europe? How tell us a bit about that.
Yeah. Well, so I went to an ID2 camp in, I think, December 2018 was my first time, and basically I got there because of PDP. You guys recommended me and a couple other people, and so I got a little bit of exposure there. And then I also went last year, and I heard from my coach that they were looking, they just wanted to get a second look at me, I guess, for this trip. And I was like, okay. And so I went again in last December 2019, and about like a couple months ago they sent out the rosters and I was invited, and it was so awesome. They sent us like a whole like box of just like Nike clothes to wear there and stuff, and yeah, and it was good to see a lot of my like players that I knew, who I almost like admired, who were my age, that I knew just from like ECNL and others, ID2 and stuff like that. And to know that I'd be playing with them in England too. So fun. Got pushed back a little bit because of this, but yeah, I was really excited.
Great. And then we spoke briefly there about the ICC, and just to be fully transparent, ICC is not a direct PDP program, but certainly your club recommended you for that. And I think in our team, which was a team of players, and let me just pull up the picture actually, because this might help. If I pull up the picture, I think on the team of 18 we had, Liz, how many NorCal, how many PDP players? I think there was 10
like
or 11.
10,
right?
yeah. There's a lot.
There was 10 or 11, and I'll bring that picture up in a second. But I'm going to just jump to a highlight from this event, and for people, maybe you caught it. This event was actually. Do you see Justin and Liz? Do you see my Twitter feed coming up right now on my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this event was televised on ESPN, and the game that I'm showing you is not our game. This is LAFC against Barcelona's U15s or U15s, yeah. And this was the semi-final. Right after the semi-final we played, we were the ICC West, and you see here Barcelona won the game in the last second. Unfortunately, we lost in PKs and missed out on the chance to be in the final against Barcelona, but we were warming up in the side. And the reason I show you this is, one, because this goal made the top 10 in Sports Centre, and two, this is a tangible, or for Liz, this is the level that Liz was playing at and the environment she was in just a few months ago. When was it? December, Liz?
Yeah.
And I was actually standing right next to you see when the girl ran over, I was on the bench just as this goal went in. It was pretty special. So this gives anyone goosebumps. And this Barcelona team just play like the Barcelona men. They play tiki-taka football. Everything's built out of the back, and it was pretty incredible. So check this goal out. Now, let me just turn my volume on here. Oops, 1 second. Because you need the volume for this one. Okay. There we go. I think I got it now. Okay. Justin, you can see my screen, yeah? There we go.
Ball back into the middle. Left. Shot. Corner. Goal! Nina Paul in the final second sends Barcelona. Ball back into the middle. Left. Shot.
Pretty special goal. And how was that overall experience, Lizzie?
Oh, that was really fun. It was interesting because I was basically having to play with all the people that I always played against on one team. And so we had to like come together as a team like in a day and because we played the next day after we got there. But that was really fun. I remember watching that game, and we got so excited, and then we were like, okay, game time, and then we all got super nervous, and it was a good experience. Really, that was probably my best soccer trip ever.
Yeah, and you mentioned there a little bit about playing against players you are playing with players you often play against, getting nervous. These are common questions we get from our PDP players. Is it normal in these environments when you're out your comfort zone, you're not playing with your teammates? How do you think that helps you grow as a person, as a player? Is it okay to be nervous? Is it okay to be anxious? And if so, how do you deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to be nervous. I remember I don't know why, but that was probably one of my most nervous moments was that game, that semifinal game. But I think you just need to learn how to take that nervousness and make it like become excitedness, and not so nervous that you'll mess up, but that you're just excited for the game and excited to play. Because you're definitely going to be nervous, and it's definitely new, and so you just have to learn to get comfortable with being nervous.
Yeah, I think I had a great quote. Being comfortable about being uncomfortable, and I think when we spoke to some of the players, the alumni players that are playing at the highest level, a few of them mentioned they remember being super nervous at PDP when they were 12 and 13, and I think the message is that's totally normal, but these experiences help you grow. And then when you do go out your comfort zone, maybe you go to an ID2 camp, then you have some experience of, being out your comfort zone and playing with players that you don't often know. So these experiences are valuable. Let's turn it a little bit to right now, the question on everybody's lips. I know you're a committed footballer. What are you doing to stay active and stay engaged with the game?
So I usually go on runs. Right now, my goal is to get like under 6-minute mile by the time we're done with quarantine. So I've just been running a lot, and then after my runs, I usually get some like ball work in for like an hour to an hour and a half. Just like dribbling through cones, watching YouTube videos. My club has been sending out stuff, so that's what I've been doing. I do that probably like 5 or 6 days a week, just because what else are you gonna do,
Is it important to have a routine, do you think? Because that's a question a lot of people are asking about. Do you have a set routine, like you spend X amount of time at school, then you have a certain time of the day for football or soccer? How do you balance the school and the soccer?
Yeah, right now school starts at 8:30, and basically I need to be on Zooms and stuff like that till like 3. So that's all just school. And then after, I try to be done before dinner, like before 6:30. And so, after school, I just get my run in and then do my soccer work. And yeah, I think that's going pretty well for me.
Is it a specific technical thing that you're working on specifically during this point? Like something you feel you can use this time to help develop a little bit better?
Yeah, I definitely say for me, I needed to work on like my like small touches, like my moves to get people off balance and stuff like that. So like I've been watching a lot of those like fun YouTube videos. Just getting better at that for me was something that I wanted to do over quarantine.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever use the ball against the wall? Does that come into your routine?
Yeah, I use my garage a lot, but my dad gets mad because he can't, like, he hears the banging all day when he's on his work calls. So
it's all right.
Yeah.
Soccer's more important than that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's something we were talking just earlier on about. A technical director I listened to a podcast says that you can get half an hour against the wall, you can get 1,000 touches of the ball, and an average game each player gets 70 touches. So you can get the equivalent of 13 games worth of touches in 30 minutes. So, the things you can control right now, you're technical, and as you say, you're physical. So I think that's a good, consistent message that we're getting from many of the players. A question came in right now for you, and this has been a question that's come up even in the last interview, when you warm up, what's your sort of mindset? Is it a routine you follow, or do you have a pre-routine that helps you mentally prepare for games or for trainings or big occasions?
Not specifically. I like to listen to certain music, like the same kind of songs, just to get my head in the game. And then warm up, I just try to focus on what I'm doing, not so much the game, until like I need to focus, focus on the what I need to do. Yeah, my pregame routine, just lots of superstitions. Gotta wear the same color hair, tie, you know.
Yeah, now we're getting there. That seems like it's the common thing is routine. The routine's important, and even probably just now having a routine in your virtual training is probably important to you as well. So
yeah.
So great. We're going to come back to you, Lizzie, and we're going to do some Q&As, a few questions coming in about the camp that you went to. Your references to ID2 camp. ID2 is governed by US Club Soccer, which PDP is a part of. They have 3 ID2s throughout the year. This year was the 2006 cycle. It's just started. I need to get this right, in December, and we had a number of our NorCal players go there. In the 2005 cycle, we had, I think, 30 of our PDP state pool, the highest number of any PDP in the country. So we've had some players do very well there, which is good for us because we continue to be able to send players to that program. Right now, that's not for the regional age group, but you know, soon after you progress towards the state pool, which hopefully many of you will, that's kind of what's next. That's kind of what's next. But it all starts with where you're at right now, which is in the regional PDP. And doing what Lizzie done when she was there. And Justin pointed out, she worked hard, she was versatile, she played, and I don't even know what position is your best position, to be quite honest with you, Lizzie. I've seen you play as a centre back, as a second. Yeah, and that's I think that's a very good message, right? Is that be versatile, be flexible, and a lot of people come into PDP and they're a 10 or they're an 8, and then they might at a play date be asked to play as an outside back. And the ones that they see it as a challenge, the ones that say, okay, great, they have a mindset which is a growth mindset. Sometimes they surprise themselves. So being flexible and versatile is also very important. One last question before we.
Real quick, Robo.
Sorry,
can I add something about that?
Sure, please.
You know, 2 things about Lizzie. She's smiling so much on the camera. That's how she always is on the soccer field. I want to compliment that. She's fun. But what she's talking about there, what position, she doesn't even know. One of the things I have to compliment you on, kiddo, is that whatever exercise we try to do at PDP, you try to go out there and you try to do it. And that is so impressive. You listen so well. And then no matter whether you're playing outside back or the 6 or center back, you go and then try to put into the game what we try to teach you in the little stuff. And that is, like, I think one of your best qualities is, again, how you change on the fly. And you already have so many strengths, we've told everybody, but that in itself is so great. So
Thank you.
I would agree wholeheartedly with that, Justin. Very coachable indeed. A question just came in, Lizzie, about, do you have a favourite go-to exercise when you're at home? Is there one particular one that you like the best, you think's the most beneficial?
Not particularly. I don't know if you guys know, I set up 2 cones and then just do little rolls and I don't know how to explain it, but touches. That's what I've been doing a lot. But it changes. I don't like to do the same thing every day because it just kind of gets boring. So one day I'll focus on wall stuff. The next day I'll try to do juggling and little touches. And yeah, I just try to change it a little bit.
Great.
More.
Great. At this point, we're going to show you guys or everyone some ideas or some things that you may benefit from or you may be able to use. But in the meantime, if anyone wants to share, is willing to be unmuted, get on the mic and share some of the things that they're doing on their own at home, not with a private trainer. Hopefully we're all practicing social distancing. What you're doing at home, you can raise your hand. There's a button to raise your hand, and at the end, I'll try and cover as many as we can. But please bear in mind that if you do put your hand up, be willing to speak, because we done it with the boys and someone got a little shy and froze. So if we unmute you, please be willing to speak. And there was some great suggestions from some of the boys earlier as well, to be fair. So we've got one hand going up. We'll get to that later. But in the meantime, we're going to show you a few things that you may already have seen, but just some ideas, some food for thought, things that you can do on your own. So I'm going to share my screen. Sorry, I've got a lot of different things open here. And I'm going to go to the NorCal website. And if you go to PDP, okay, and again, don't worry if you can't keep up here. I will share this. I will share this link with everyone directly. We've done it before. You can go to the NorCal home play. Great quote there from the famous Johan Cruyff about taking advantage of the time and the situation that we have. We had the Top Gear Challenge, which was quite remarkable. We had 6,500 videos submitted, and you can even just go through here and look at some of the videos that will start to play. Maybe you can get some ideas from some of your fellow PDP players. You might recognize some of them. So you can actually go through and scroll through the videos for some idea. But over 6,500 videos is 6,500 remarkable. We have some videos here from Fiorentina in Italy, who spend huge emphasis on individual work. Both Justin and I have been lucky enough to go there a few times and study and take a lot of great ideas. We posted this video on actually this morning. This video is, again, just some things that you can do kind of on your own. Be it with the ball, breaks it down for you, slow motion. Again, nothing, maybe you've seen this before, but as you watch these in real speed, try and pay attention to the quality and the intensity and the body language, how they're nice and low. Okay, they're guiding the ball. So it's always about the quality. You can always do things but a little bit better quality. Justin, I know you're doing a lot with some of your players. Is there any go-to exercise? And I've got more to share from NorCal, but Justin, do you have any main exercise you would say is the most beneficial at this point?
I would say that a combination of, dribbling with both feet, if you want to call them corver moves or ball manipulation, both feet. And then the biggest thing that I can emphasize to all of you is how can you improve your intensity in any of your exercises when you're by yourself and you're doing isolation or ball manipulation or dribbling. And then somehow, so it's not necessarily one thing, Robo, but all sorts of stuff. Somehow you got to get on the wall and do some work with the wall, turning, receiving your first touch. It's a crazy time, but like we said earlier, I think right now is a time where all of you are becoming so much better with the ball. Just keep doing as much as possible, and nothing is wrong. Everything is great. The most you can do.
Yeah, great. And again, if you want to share some of your ideas, I see one hand up. Please pop your hand up, and we'll get to the questions in a few minutes. The other thing I want to share with you is we were fortunate enough to have some coaches from other parts of the world share with their NorCal coaches what they're doing with their players, or what their players are doing on their own, and they were willing to share it. So I have a video from Borussia Dortmund in Germany. Their youth players and some home things that they've been working on, and I'm going to share that. And as I share it, I just want you guys to think about this. This is a professional club with a lot of resources, but none of this, what you see, requires resources. You could argue that these clubs will have a big advantage over you guys and your youth clubs, because maybe they can have 3 or 4 coaches, they can train 3-4 times a week, they have facilities. But right now, they are essentially in the same position as us. Everyone, as you see, everyone's backyard's different. Some people are on a dust park, some are on a basketball course, some are on the garage. So again, we can see a lot of this probably from you guys, but I think it's nice to see that everyone in the world is on the same level playing field right now. It's pretty interesting. So I'll just play this video. Justin, give me a thumbs up if you can see it. Yeah. Question came up from the boys about upper body strength, and Paolo, who's very well clued up on the sports science, recommends no weight training, but anything you're doing in upper body with push-ups, sit-ups, probably fine. But the biggest thing we want to do is spend time with the ball. See, they're just using the dust and the dirt. A great way to work on your cardio is a jump rope. Doesn't require much space. Against the wall. Some really good examples. Again, if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, I've got a great idea, please raise your hand. So far, I've only got one hand up. The boys, I had about 50. Juggling different heights. I know Justin's big on that. Little challenges you can set for yourself. If you can juggle 100 times and the ball's at the same height all the time, you should be varying the heights. Above your head, below your head. Different way to juggle there as well. I heard from a top coach. She coaches a club team in the USA, former U20 national team coach, and she's asking her players to really work on their heading right now because it's not something they've time to practice, but it's such an important part of the game that I know some of you guys can't head the ball yet legally or in games, but learning the correct technique to head the ball while you're at home. And we can send out a little progression for that as well.
Hey, real quick, Robo, Abby Wambach has a great video on how to introduce heading if you want to check it on YouTube.
Yeah, we can look it up and we can send it out. So again, guys, that's just to give you an idea that we're not alone. Everywhere across the world is trying to be creative and trying to find ways. And one thing we have here in the US and the generation that we have is people that are pretty resourceful. You don't need the best technology, or you don't need any technology, just a ball. If you don't have cones, you can use water bottle, you can use socks, you can be resourceful. And the time that you spend with the ball is definitely going to help you. As well as that, guys, we sent out an email a while ago, and we'll resend it, with a number of links to different ways you can learn about soccer. There's articles you can read. There's videos, there's soccer movies, there's games. We spoke to our panelist on the boys, Ethan Carr, who mentioned a website that's showing, I think it's UEFA.com. It's showing free reruns of games from the last 20 years. So it's a really good time to learn about the game as well and read about the game. There's a lot of really good books that are inspiring players as well. So with that said, I'm going to open it up for questions. I encourage you to raise your hand if you want to share a little bit about what you might be doing. We'd love to hear from you, and maybe you trigger an idea. I've got Nina Corey. I wonder if this is Mia's sister. So I recognize the last name. I don't know many of the regional players, but the state pool players, I recognize the last name. So Nina, I'm going to allow you to talk.
Hi,
Nina. Tell us which region you're from, which club you're from, and how old you are first.
I'm from Region 5. I'm from San Jose United. What I do so that I can stay active and still be good when I go back is I work on stuff that I'm not good at so I can stay good. And I run with my brother every day. And awesome. I just my craft, and then I do the soccer trainings every day too.
So what are you working on then? What are you working on that you think you can improve? Is it maybe your left foot? Or?
My left foot and the L turn. I'm not good at the L turn.
Ah, okay. And who's your coach?
Steve-O.
It's not Justin. I was going to say if you're Justin, then okay, maybe he paid you to come on. But that's awesome. That's awesome to hear, Nina. And what some of the challenges you're finding? Is there any challenges in getting in the way of your progress, or do you think that this is a good time to practice?
I think it's a good time to practice on ourselves because then we don't have to because school is a lot shorter now for me. We just do my work and I can get up early and just start doing my craft like that. Work on yourself.
Awesome. Well, Liz, it sounds, Lizzie, like you've got a tough schedule till 3 o'clock. You're the first person I've heard that is a 9 till 3 school. Crazy. Okay. Well, Nina, thank you so much for coming on and all your hard work. We appreciate you sharing that. Thank you.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go to Elise Huff. Elise, I'm going to open up your mic and allow you to talk. What you got for us, Elise? Elise?
Hi, I'm Allie Huff and I'm Addison Huff.
Oh, we got twins, okay. Okay.
And I'm 10 years old and Addison's 11. We normally go up to our cul-de-sac and we do like Tommy Thompson videos from YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We do like a series and an elite workout.
Mm-hmm.
And we add our own skill touches in, and we try and go on runs with the ball every day, and we like to do juggling every day too.
And I think I've seen you guys play, and I can tell you spend a lot of time with the ball, and you're in Region 5, I believe, as well?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, you mentioned Tommy Thompson. Yeah, we can resend the video series from Tommy Thompson. He was part of one of the very first ever PDP groups. Tommy Thompson played in Region 6, and he's now a professional with the Earthquakes. So thank you so much for sharing that, girls.
David, I want to follow up with Ali and I think it's the sister, Allison.
Yep.
So how long do you spend a day on with the ball or without the ball, but just do some training?
We normally do an hour and a half to 3 hours a day.
Wow, that's very good, very good. I think you will see when you go back with your team and play the game, you will see the benefit of this work that you put it on. Because the reason why I ask you this, we had a question. It was from Isabella Cordero. And she was asking, how long do you recommend to work on footwork a day? Well, my question to Isabella is as much as you can. It doesn't have to be only footwork. It can be also something different because you also want to do things that you're having fun as well, you know? Because if you do things only that is grinding, then, you know, it's a little bit hard. But if you make it out of fun, you know, maybe some dribbling through some crazy things or other stuff, or maybe you're trying to juggle and then spinning around and trying to do something creative, it's all good. And again, in the long run, the more time you will put in, and remember, this is an opportunity to put time because, you know, we are all in some form of lockdown. This is a great opportunity to improve that, okay? Thank you for sharing that, Ali.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We're going to go down now to, I think, Region 8. We have Valerie Alcala. We're going to allow you to talk. Valerie, you're on.
Hi.
Valerie?
I'm from Region 8. I am 12 years old, and what I do every day is I wake up at 6:30 each morning, and I go juggle for an hour, and then for another hour, I work on some skills that I get from Zoom trainings from the international prospectors. And then I do sit-ups, I do 250, and push-ups. I do 4 sets of 40 push-ups every day. And then I work on myself on my skills, and I work on myself on my skills, and my body work. And yeah, basically that's what I do every day. And sometimes I play with my brother and my cousins tennis soccer. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Oh, that's a great one. That's probably the best one if you've got someone to play with, family members, and practice good social distance. You can.
Valeria, who is your brother?
My brother is Jose Alcala. He's in Staple.
Yes, I know Jose Alcalá. See.
Hey, I love your workout, Valerie. Good job, kiddo. Keep it up.
Yeah, that's awesome, Valerie. That takes a lot of discipline. At 6:30 in the morning, wake up and do that first things. That's really very, very good. Thanks for sharing.
So Valerie, do you like to get it in before school? Do you like to work out? Is that your idea? You want to work out before school?
Yeah.
And there is actually studies, because I used to be a teacher, a PE teacher. There's a lot of studies to show that exercise at the start of the day, it releases an endorphin and it helps you focus more. So if you guys can get up at 6:30 and have the same discipline Valerie has, then your teachers might be thanking you for it, because you might be a little bit more focused and engaged in your schoolwork. So, and I've seen you play, Valerie. I haven't been to Region 8 very often, and you always jump out as the person who spends a lot of time with the ball.
Thank you.
You've always got the bib tied up, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've always got the bib tied up because it's too big. I know exactly who you are now. Great. I can even put a face to a Zoom name just based on the description. So thank you. Let's go down. Let's see. This is just random, guys, because there's a lot of hands get up. Justin, I don't know if you know some of these. It doesn't really. I guess it doesn't matter if we know them or not. It's just random. So we're going to go with Eloise Stone. Eloise Stone, we're going to allow you to talk.
We know Eloise, Region 2, of course.
There you go.
Hi, so I'm in Region 2. I'm 13 years old, and I play for Aftershocks. So what I've been doing is I like to explore on YouTube. So seeing like core exercises, and then like a leg workout, and then agility. And we have an agility ladder. So one day I'll do just agility, core, and legs. And like mainly like less soccer oriented and more like physical and fitness. And then the other day I will do mainly soccer. So I'll get a lot of touches on the ball, which include juggling and then dribbling with the Tommy Tom guy on Earthquakes on YouTube. I've been doing a lot of wall stuff. So working on my turns and mainly my left foot, because I noticed at trainings, more players were more ahead with their left foot than I was. And I didn't have that motivation like they did. And during this time, I've gained more of that. So I think that's helped me out. And it's getting closer. Like I'm more dominant. I'm pretty equal with them now. So it's gotten a lot better, which I feel more confident with it. So that's improved.
Wow, what a great message.
Alois, when you do the dribbling, first of all, what's set up? Do you have like a driveway? Do you have a backyard?
Yeah, so we have, because of it's my so-called backyard, we have an alleyway, but it's concrete. So I don't have like a perfect nice green grass with like a brick wall. I just have my garage. And so I make it work though. I can also, if you put your cones on a slant, it's a lot harder. So I think that helps me out. And then with my garage, on a slant, the ball comes back slower. And so I have to move to the ball more, which helps me go to the ball and check my shoulder, which is useful.
Very good. Very good.
Great.
The reason why I asked this, because possibly some of you either don't have the garage to be able to do that, or you don't have a alley, or you don't have a driveway, or you don't have a backyard. And you say, well, how can I do dribbling or juggling or anything? Obviously, the less you have those things, is a little harder, but there's always a way to be able to do something related to technical. As early with the boys, I was sharing a story of a player named Sebastian Leggett. I don't know how many of you know Sebastian, but he's a professional. Right now he's playing with the LA Galaxy in MLS. He's a part of the national team. And he grew up in San Francisco in the early age. Back then, I was fortunate to coach him. And Sebastian had a very small house. He had a little backyard, not backyard, but he had a little space behind the house where he was able to do some juggling, but he was not much able, maybe some passing, but he was not much able to do dribbling. So what he was able to do, and this was coming, he had the dad that was working a night shift. So when the dad was coming home, he was Argentinian and he had a big passion for soccer, obviously. He was watching games, before going to sleep, and he was taping the game. And in the morning, Sebastian was getting up. It was like a little Valeria. He was waking up early, having breakfast, and before going to school, he watched the part of the game or whatever, whatever was possible, the game that the dad taped the night before. And then he was getting either a softball or something similar to a ball. And in the living room, he had a fourth sister, a mom, and some chairs and table. He was always trying to recreate a situation similar or close to what he saw in the game and the player that he was watching, and trying to mimic that and do something. So you see, Sebastian was using his creativity to try to simulate as close as possible to the game or to something that was related to soccer and game. So just think about it. If you are in situations similar to Sebastian, there is always a way to do something to improve your game.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Eloise, for sharing. We'll do one more because we want to kind of respect everybody's time, and then we have closing comments, but a lot of hands are up. Bella Pearson, you were one of the first one to put your hands up. We're going to allow you to talk, Bella.
Hi,
Bella.
I'm Bella Pearson. I'm 11 years old from Santa Rosa United, Region 5. And my coach is Justin and Stevo. And daily, I get up and I'll do so after I'm done with school and everything, I have 1 to 3 Zooms a day for sports. And then I will hop on the Peloton sometimes, take runs, do jump ropes. Then I'll do some of my own soccer on my own. After I'm done with the Zooms, I'll do a little bit continue of what they showed me that I felt inspired by. And yeah.
Great. So you're doing a lot of different various things, and I think it'll show. And guys, there's so many hands going up. I think what I'll do, I'll speak to Paolo and the team maybe tomorrow, the next day. Maybe we can set up a platform where you guys can start to send videos into our NorCal social media channel, and we can repost them, because I've learned already some really good things. And I think the key thing that's coming across in all of this, and Lizzie will attest to it, is commitment and that extra time and getting a routine. So I think these are the common things I hear from all of you that have been sharing your things to do. So we appreciate everyone that popped their hand up. Again, we could be here all night, and we did schedule this for an hour, and it is getting towards, even although school might start a little later than normal, Valerie's got to get up at 6:30 a.m. So we want to be cautious of everybody's time. So we appreciate everyone sharing, and we will try and create a platform for others to maybe share their videos. But it's great to hear there's so many of you out there using this time to to become better with the ball, and that's what it's all about. One last question that came in, Lizzie, for you, which I think is a good one. We'll answer this one, and then Paolo, closing remarks. When you've played now teams from other countries, when we were at the ICC, we played Atletico Madrid from Spain. You played against the Japanese. You've watched Barcelona play. Is there a difference in styles when you play teams from different countries from the US, would you say?
Yeah, it's definitely different. They're more, especially when we played Atletico Madrid, they're more technical and like they want to pass around you rather than like, I don't know, like dribble or, like they're just more technical and more.
So let me ask you, why do you think they're more technical? Because I think we could go full circle here. Why do you think the players are able to be better technically than perhaps the players that we had? And I would agree. You were more athletic, and I think we won the game 3-2, 2-1.
Yeah,
Why do you think they were more technical?
They probably focus more on that than we do. Spend more time.
Yeah, you're there. You're right there. They probably spend more time on their own with the ball, because that's the culture, and that's the same. And that's the culture of spending time with the ball. And this is a great opportunity. We see a lot in the US, and the women, we've got great female players, some of the best in the world. Mentality's great, physically good. There's some good technical players. But other countries, Taylor Ziemer said it when she was on as our alumni panel. She went to Holland and found that the game was much more technical there. So I think that question's to segue into, this is a great opportunity for everyone to become technically more efficient. And then you just think of this generation when we have the athleticism, we have the US mentality to win. It's a great opportunity for everyone to grow in an area where perhaps, I wouldn't say we're behind, maybe we are, but certainly your words, they were a little bit more technical. And again, the Japanese, way more technical. They trained for, I had a player that moved to Japan, and she said, all we do is we pass the ball back and forward for 4 hours. It's boring. But that's the culture and that's the discipline, So it's no surprise the technical players normally are the players that spend more time with the ball. And as Paolo said, you don't need any fancy kick things you buy on the internet. You need a ball, a little bit of space, even in the house, and you just need creativity. And above all, you need hard work and dedication. And I think that's what it requires. So I'm glad you made that observation, Liz. I'm glad you made that. And that was a great question. I think I can't remember who asked it, but someone did on the Q&A. With that said, I'm going to thank Justin, who's an integral part of our PDP program and has worked with many of you, and hopefully will continue to work with many of you. Obviously, our special guest, Lizzie. It's been great to have you on and see you virtually. And again, Lizzie was that same player where you guys are right now. Just fast forward 3 years, and Justin always says, "Who's next? Who's the next ambassador for the program?" I think Lizzie would be the first to tell you at the regional pool, she wasn't a standout as the best player, right? You wouldn't consider yourself as the top player. And it was the same thing that Sophie Jones, Maya Doms, Tierna Davidson, they all shared it as well. They all felt that they were just another player. Not one of them felt that they were the top player. So if you guys think there's players out there that are much better than me, it doesn't matter what's happening now. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Those people that are dedicated, that work hard, that spend time with the ball, the benefits will come as you go through your career. So that's my message. Justin, Lizzie, is there anything you guys want to add? And I'll give the closing words to Paolo. Justin.
Well, I just want to say I'm looking at all the attendees, and it's fantastic to see all these ladies here. Like Robo said, and like I've mentioned time and time again to all of you, you guys are the future of soccer and the women's game in NorCal. I wish you all the best. I want to continue to encourage you to, like Robo said, and like we've all talked about, become that master of the ball and continue to dedicate more time to your passion. Thank you again so much, Lizzie, for joining us tonight. Paulo, Robo, miss you guys. All the players, I miss you guys so much. One of the highlights of my soccer is honestly working with all this talent. I have a great job, but working with the best players, that's passion for me. So keep up with the good work, and NorCal.
Sorry, Paolo, closing words?
Yeah, I just want to make a show because it's late. But again, I hope then tonight, this hour spent with us has inspired you more to do more, because the more you put into the game, and the more the game will give back to you. That's straight and simple. This is a message all across. So, and again, try to be creative, try to make it happen. There is always, if there is a will, there is a way. Also, I want to remind you then, that you are the ambassador of this game, and the future ambassador of this game. So always be a good role model, which then means not only on the soccer field, but you have to be the same as off the field. So this is a good time, to also look at help, who needs to help, be obedient and appreciate your parents, and try to help to make whoever is close to you better or easier, or whatever it takes. And when you do that, that makes the world a better place. Okay. So, and I wish you all a good luck. And again, I know that we will see you soon. And with that, let's go and stay strong.
Thanks again to everyone. We will send a follow-up email with all the material we shared. Stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands. Thank your parents. Big thank you again to Lizzie. Big time.
Thanks, Lizzie. Thanks,
Thanks
Justin.
for having
Thanks,
me.
David.
Oh, our pleasure.
Everyone.
Our pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Say hi to the gang. Bye, guys. Good night. And then again, we have videoed this, so we'll send you a link to this that you can share with your teammates. Thanks, Justin. Thanks, Paulo.
Bye, Lizzie.
Bye. Thank you for
Bye,
having me.
Bye, all you NorCal superstars.
You wish you were NorCal.
You wish you were NorCal. Ooh, ah.
There we go.